and we stayed in Homestead under a billboard. Woke up the next morning, and the next morning we went down and had a cup of coffee down at the racetrack gas station because it's the last gas station before um, you head into the Keys. And we met a young man named Derek,
Yeah,
and
that
he's
was
a
cool.
homeless kid. He's my age. He's 22, and it was just really kind of like a God thing. It was
Yeah,
definitely God put him in our life for a reason. We got our chance to explain stuff, what we were doing, what's going on, what we think about what we should be doing, and all this stuff. And it was really cool because for being a homeless kid, he walked up to us after he left, and he gave us $5, and I was like, wow, that's crazy because I don't even know if that was all he had. But he goes to me, he's like, you know, I don't have an opportunity to tithe. Um, and I really feel like you guys need this more than I do. And he gave us that, and I was like, wow, that hit me so hard because I was like, even a person that almost has nothing to give, um, is giving to us, in a way of like, it was just awesome. It was
yeah, it was
awesome to
really
see that,
cool. And
it hit
we
me
talked
hard.
to him for about an hour, so that was really cool. It's kind of funny because we were sitting on the side and we were just kind of waiting for it. It was cold that night, so we were waiting for it to. It gets cool down here. It's kind of weird, but we were waiting for things to like warm up, and because it's like what is it, 12 miles to Key Largo. So that was a fun ride. Yeah, nothing around.
And it's hot,
Yeah.
real hot.
So it was funny because Corey was reading a book and I was reading the Bible and we were just sitting there hanging out like off to the side, like no one really passed by there, and this kid walked by, Derek, and I acknowledged him. I said, "How are you?" You know what I mean? He went inside, got his coffee, and then he comes back out, and then we started talking, and then it just really opened up conversation, and it was really cool. So we got to talk to him for a while, and then, like Corey was saying, and then we left there. We made our bike trail down to Key Largo. Um, so we're in the Keys.
We stopped at a Baptist church in the Keys when we first came in. There's a church right there when
When
you
you
get
first
in.
come into Key Largo on the right.
Yeah, and we talked to a pastor there. His name's Steve. He let us. I had gotten sick, kind of
Yeah,
just
we're kind of sick.
yeah, running through everything and touching stuff and doing that kind of stuff. You pick up a lot more germs than if you were to ride down in a car. And so I was feeling pretty bad, and I think the lack of sleep and everything else like that kind of just really affected it. And after making that 12-mile journey in 90-degree
Super
weather,
hot.
it was just bad. And so we got time. He let us charge our phone, and I took a nap, drink up some water and stuff like that, and then we headed out.
No, we met the officer.
Oh yeah, we met. We were sitting there, standing around, and there was a guy that came up afterwards. He came up to that church while we were taking a nap, and we got to talk to him. His name is Bob Grail. He's a sergeant of Florida State troopers. Yeah, and he was really cool because he got a chance to really share his testimony with us, and just how God's been working in his life and really training him to be a disciple. And it was a really good conversation. And so we got the law enforcement on our side now. but yeah, that was cool. Then we headed down south to did we sleep anywhere?
Yeah, we slept. Where did we sleep?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's been
We're
great.
having brain farts because it's just been so much. God has been like just hacking our lives full of stuff every day.
Plus, you don't even sleep. Like,
Yeah.
we only got like 6
6 hours of sleep last night. Yeah. Well, we ended up coming into Marathon. And when we first came into Marathon, we met a guy. His name's Silver Bear. He's a homeless guy, and I don't know. God just let us into his life, kind of really, really funny. It was really funny, but we got a chance to talk with him, and he, and share a little bit. And he's a guy. He travels the world or the United States, and just kind of lives homeless, and he's kind of a deadhead kind of guy, but. We just got a little bit of time to love on him and talk to him. And then when we ran up across this kid, I think his name was Tyrone, and he had missed his bus. So we got an opportunity to sit with him and talk with him for quite a few hours, actually.
Yeah, we met some Cubans. That was cool.
Yeah, it was just really cool. God's been putting people in our lives in like the most really funny
simplest
ways.
ways, but just so cool, you know.
Yeah.
And it was funny. He was well, it's not funny, but uh, it was odd because like he was down there and he was going to a wake. There was a young lady that
Oh,
just
yeah.
died around here, and so she died, and he was going down there, and so we got to really kind of talk with him about a little bit here and there. We touched and well, come to find out, now we're in Marathon, so we ended up
Sleeping behind
behind
the
the
church.
church.
Yeah.
And this
God had a tent set up for us
Yeah,
here.
that was
We ended up we couldn't find a place to stay. There's no trees here to sleep in,
it's
and
like mangroves everywhere. It's weird.
so we ended up coming behind this church. We're like, oh, we'll just go sleep behind this church because we were planning on coming here in the morning. And we walk around the backside of this church, and there's this tent.
It's like
Not
a carport.
Yeah, it's like a
But it's
carport.
like lower to the ground. It's just like a perfect tent.
Yeah, and it was just cool
It's
because
cool.
it was just like a perfect place to stay. And then we ended up waking up this morning, coming into the service. They start service really late here, around like
Yeah.
11.
All of them do. It's
10, 11
that's
o'clock.
odd.
But then we ended up coming into service, and that same girl that this kid Tyrone, I think his name was talking to us about. I guess people in this church knew the same girl, and
Yeah.
and that was just kind of funny to hear that. It was kind of reassuring, I should say, to hear that like from the testimonies that I heard today, and that I guess that other people have heard is she's in heaven, and it was just kind of cool. The guy that spoke today, I think his name was Steve. Oh man, I've just been taking in
Too
names.
many names,
Yeah,
dude, it's crazy.
there's a pastor here at Calvary Baptist Church in Marathon. Great guy, knows what he's just like right on key with everything, and it was really funny because we ended up coming down to the Bible study with the students. The student pastor was like, I didn't know you guys were coming in today, but I didn't really have much to say.
Well, we kind of spoke about what we were doing and like kind of the whole thing behind what we're doing, and it was just like it was funny because it's like time and time again, and it's like I spoke at the youth group back at the Lighthouse.
Oh yeah.
And it was just really cool. I was kind of sharing and kind of telling like a little bit like my testimony, and it was funny because you see the pastor in the back and he's kind of like geeking up, he's just like all smiles, and then he starts talking and it like totally goes along, and it's like I never even spoke to the guy before I went in about what he was going to talk about or whatever, he's kind of just letting us share. We just like let the Spirit lead now, and it was just cool. It totally. It was like it was connected, and it was just like there was no way that we could have planned that out, any better, because it was like there would have been flaws, because we're all human, and so then we got down here and we were talking to the students before big church, I guess you would call it, and it was funny because Corey was talking, and he's like, I didn't really have anything planned for today. He goes, I had a little bit that I wanted to share about, like, during Psalms.
Getting into the Word.
Yeah, and it was funny because that's what we were talking about and what we're doing, and it's just been awesome to see, like.
And then even in service, the guy that was preaching today was talking about, he's like, are we running away from what God's telling us to do because we're so worried about what's going on in this world? Are we running away from that? And he's like, and then he challenged the whole church. He said, in it was Romans, right?
Yeah.
In Romans 12, he says that we ourselves, our lives, are a sacrifice. We're to sacrifice everything we have for the Lord. And it was just awesome to hear what he was saying in a way that kind of like corresponded to what we were telling them what we were doing. And it was like we never even planned any of this out. And it was just really cool. And then after service, we, which was about 2 hours ago, I guess, we ended up, the pastor's son invited us out to go out to dinner with them, and that was really cool because we got time to share with them and just kind of talk, you know what I mean? And it was just really cool because, I don't know, just how it all happened. It was really cool. But things have definitely been very interesting. God's definitely been taking care of us in so many ways and using us in ways of, like, people giving us blessings, it gave us the ability to bless other people with those blessings, and it was just really cool. You know, it's like that kid Tyrone, man. He didn't have any money, and he didn't know I was gonna catch the bus and all this stuff, and so I gave him $20, and I was like, you know, there you go. You know, now you got enough money to go on with your way and do everything you need to do. I didn't have anything under that, and God was just telling me to do that. And it's like even here they have a program that I was listening to today. The pastor kind of touched on a little bit, and it's called Hope Ministries, I believe. And what they do is they take in, I think it's like women and stuff like that. And I could be mixing this up with something else he was talking about. He touched on a few things. They got missionaries over in other places working with women,
Children.
Yeah, and the sex slave and sex trades and stuff like that. And it's just been real interesting, like the stuff that God's teaching us as far as that. But it's just been crazy.
It's
You
been
can't
really
even
cool.
explain it. You know, it's like you try and explain something, and it's like, I wish I had everything recorded so that I could kind of report back to you guys, like everything that we saw.
Yeah.
Because I know next time that's what I'm gonna do. I'm
It's
just
just
gonna
been
record
cool
everything.
stuff. It's just like you see God everywhere. Like
Yeah.
that's the best way to put it. It's just the stuff that's just happened, and it's like there's no way we could have done this. You know what I mean? There's no way we could have orchestrated any of it to work out. You know, it's been really really cool.
Yeah.
Besides the lack of sleep and being kind of sick, but still, you know, it's just been really cool. I don't know. I'm excited. But
Yeah.
that's pretty much. Sorry about being so late on the videos. We've been slacking. It's been hot. We're getting old. Yeah, we thanks guys. Just keep us in your prayers. You know, praying for us, be able to speak. You know, but
That's pretty much it. We love you guys. Stay safe. Have a wonderful afternoon. Deuces.